Our first review of the day is going to be for the television series there, Euphoria season 3. So far as we know, this is the final season. This is it of the show Euphoria there. At one time hit show for HBO Max
Mhm.
there. You have it where this season, because the last season was in, I believe it was 2022 was the last season they
Mhm.
did. So 4 years
Yes, it
later,
was.
we now have season 3 there, where we have the returning characters there. We have Zendaya, who's Rue. We have Sydney Sweeney, who's Cassie. We have Maude Apatow, who's Lexi there. We have also Maddie there as well. And we also have Jacob Elordi, who's returned as Nate there as well. There was a cast member, Barbara, who didn't return there because she didn't like what was going on with this season.
Mhm.
And she was like, yeah, I'm not returning.
Yeah,
I don't really.
she read the script.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm not really into this, so I'm not
Yeah,
going to
fuck
be
that.
in this season there. Also Hunter Schafer, who's Jules in this as well there. And
Barely.
this is kind of a catch up there, basically, of what's kind of been going on with these characters since high school. Now they finally out of high school.
Mhm.
So you got that. So we see kind of what's been going on in their lives there, and still getting into foolishness and craziness on a major scale there. So
Mhm.
we see that Rue now is a drug runner. She's a drug mule for the Lori character there, who Lori we see that has come to her. And if people remember in like the second season, Rue had basically, offered to be like a drug dealer for her, and have
Mhm.
Lori front her drugs. But she was like, she was a crackhead. So it was like, of course I smoked that shit. I wasn't gonna actually really sell it. So she was just bullshitting, and she was like, okay. And then she was messing with her money. So now she's back and confronted her and go like, well, you owe me 10 million 400 something thousand dollars, because all
Mhm.
that interest that came on there. And I remember I saw a funny comment. Somebody said like, "Damn, she putting them student loan interest on that money." Like Jesus Christ. So she was like, "Okay, well, you got no." She has no choice but to work for her as like a drug mule now because she is indebted to her. We see that with Jules's character. She's like an artist, painter who has no real job. So she
Mhm.
becomes a sugar baby for multiple
Mhm.
men. But she settles with one guy who she ends up just staying with.
Yeah,
Um,
who, in the montage of, like, their relationship, he, like, wraps her up in plastic wrap, so every, like, indicator is that this guy is a serial killer.
yeah, he doing some Dexter shit. He wrapping her up in plastic and shit. Like, okay, sure, but she gets to be with one guy, and so he gives her like a condo and pays all her bills and everything
Mhm.
like that. So she just ends up
Mhm.
painting all day and having her bills paid for and living in the condo. Then we see with Maddie that she's an assistant to a talent manager in Hollywood, and also on the side, she also manages OnlyFans girls. Then we see with Cassie that she's doing OnlyFans content as
Mhm.
well, in order to pay for the wedding that she's having with Nate,
Mhm.
because he took over his father's business, his construction company, landscaping business, and he sucks at it. He's not doing a very good
Oh,
job.
he's terrible.
And the place that where he's trying to build on has like this flower called the white fertility, which is a protected flower that he can't destroy or build on top of. So it's halting construction, and he has to pay his crew all this money. So his money just keeps burning as he's waiting to build on it. At first I thought they said the name of the flower was white fragility. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it's a flower called white fragility. But it's white fertility there. And so he's burning through money, and he's borrowing money from a lot of people, especially some very very bad people, which we're going to get into in a minute there. We see with Lexi that she works in Hollywood as well. She's
Mhm.
a seems like a PA, like a production assistant for a director, on a production project on a TV show called LA Nights, which is like a soap opera. The director of the show is Sharon Stone, who's her boss in it. So that's what we see she's doing. Did I miss anybody? That was pretty much the major cast there.
Yeah, that's pretty much the major cast. We also have Coleman Domingo
Oh, yeah.
returning as Ali, who shows up for like 3 episodes of this season, and we also have Alamo's two goons who are played by Daryl Britt Gibson as Bishop and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, so those are the new characters of the show. Alamo, said better help.com with that. So yeah, those are the newer characters. Alamo there, who's played by I know him as Mr. Echo from
Yeah,
Lost.
yeah, I actually looked up how to pronounce this. It's Adewale Akinyo-Egbaje.
Yeah, so you got him who's very good. He's one of the better additions to
Mhm.
the season here, to the show. Nick, what are your thoughts, man? Euphoria season 3.
So I was a fan of the first season of the show. I felt like it was, delving into something that delving into something with Gen Z about having this portrayal of a lot of issues that is facing Gen Z teenagers, like with addiction, like with social media, the way that people get pressured into sex and drugs and alcohol at especially at a young age. And it was one of the best written shows on television for a time. Season 2 is a mess, but at least it was entertaining to watch for the train wreck. This season of the show, it is the most disconnected from, like, any kind of overarching story. It completely eschews everything that the show was previously about, and its biggest crime, except for, like, maybe a few moments in very select episodes, its biggest crime is that it's just boring.
Mm. Wow.
It's
Uh,
fucking boring.
wow. Um, so I talked with you about this is like this season 3,
Mhm.
you know, I was like, it's almost like you don't really even have to have really seen much of season 2 or season 1 to really get what's going on this season because it's such a different show almost. Like it's kind of like you said, Breaking Bad, because it's like Rue with the whole
Mhm.
drug stuff going on. And she's even working with like
Yeah,
neo Nazis, just like
yeah.
Walt did in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
Sam Levinson heating up the leftover nachos of Breaking Bad, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Quentin Tarantino.
He's got Quentin Tarantino stuff, and you could say Paul Thomas Anderson because of like stuff like with the
Mhm.
sex work and like Boogie Nights and all. I guess a lot of that stuff kind of going on, and then also with Quentin Tarantino, and we're gonna talk about the finale and what all happens in that. And I have questions to ask you about like what kind of was the thinking there. But yeah, so that's what you kind of got going on here. And with these characters, I mean, like I said, it just like seeing them kind of now, like what they've been kind of getting into, it's kind of almost unbelievable that these people would still be connected. After, given that, especially like when the wedding happens between Nate and Cassie, like they invite Rue to the wedding, even though it didn't seem like Cassie and Rue were really that close in high school. So it's like, why is
Yeah,
she inviting her to the
yeah,
wedding?
it kind of felt like she was invited because she was like because Cassie suddenly remembered that, oh right, Zendaya has top billing on the show.
Yeah, it's like and everybody knows that she's an addict. Everybody knew that, and, it's like, "Oh, hey,
She's an addict. She's a loser.
invite that crackhead from high school. Let's invite him to the" like, what? But okay, sure. And I come to think of it, I was thinking about this, like, do they share no dialogue together, right? Her and Cassie shared 0 dialogue.
Yeah, zero dialogue together in this season. Even in the like one moment when they are in the same scene, there is no dialogue exchange between them, and it looks kind of like when they did Furious 7 when The Rock and Vin Diesel refused to be in the same scene together.
Yeah, there's a scene where Rue like so they're doing a photo shoot because Maddie is running Cassie's OnlyFans.
Mhm.
And there's like they're doing a photo shoot outside. Rue comes up, goes straight to Maddie, talks to her, and then
Mhm.
Lexi is also there, and she says something. She chimes in, and then Rue
Yeah,
talks to her.
Lexi was one of the more interesting characters as the one who's kind of like the voice of reason. In this season, she's just a judgmental asshole to
She's very annoying.
everybody.
Oh yeah, she's super annoying. Yeah, but in that scene, so she talks to her, and then when Lexi says something, she responds to Lexi. But Cassie's also talking, and then there's like she says nothing to her, like zero. Like it's almost like she doesn't even
It's like
exist.
it's like there's rumors that apparently Zendaya can't stand Sydney Sweeney, and I'm starting to think some of that has some weight.
Yeah, and I heard something where because there's a scene where also with Jules where she's talking to
Mhm,
Nate, and I think somebody said that those were like put together, like they
mhm.
weren't actually in the same room together, like
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like green screen or something, and they
Oh,
just
yeah,
put.
it's like because everybody, especially like the top 3 of the show, like Zendaya, like Sydney Sweeney, Jacob Elordi, they got very busy in between seasons 2 and 3 of this show. So I imagine it was probably a nightmare for scheduling to the point where Zendaya and Jacob Elordi, their plots are so separate from the rest of the main cast that they are all essentially on a different show from each other.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I think they were like, because Jules is so separated from everything going
Mhm,
on. Because in the all most of Jules's scenes
mhm,
are just in the condo. Like Rue goes to talk to her, they dance
mhm,
around their feelings for each other,
mhm,
then they get mad, and then Rue leaves. Like it's
mhm.
just kind of rinse, wash,
And
repeat.
they never talk again. And even in their conversations, it's just a repeat of their like dynamic from season 1 and 2, where they are just constantly dancing around their feelings for each other.
It's the same stuff over and over again, and like they said, Jules is so segregated from everybody else,
Mhm.
I guess because she was busy, Hunter Schafer, I guess, and she had other stuff going on, and
You know
but
you know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? Because Sam Levinson kinda strikes me as this kinda creator. He's salty because Hunter Schafer co-wrote the special that was featuring Jules, and that is, like, widely regarded as one of the best episodes of Euphoria. So Sam Levinson is committed to just flanderizing her character completely.
yeah, and like I said, there's really not much. I mean, she's out of the 5 women of this show because it's yes, it's an ensemble cast,
Mhm,
but most of the leads are women. It's like 5
mhm,
women there who you mostly follow. 3 of those women all get involved in sex work of some
mhm.
kind. OnlyFans, or they're forced to have sex with somebody or whatever, and it's just like, I don't know, when he was writing that out, it's just like, that's not strange to you, bro? Like, you wrote these 5 women and 3 of them end up like that? Like, that's not strange at all? Like, okay,
Yeah, it's like to the point where in the finale, a character's BBL gets more screen time than Hunter Schafer did the entire season as one of the leads of this show.
so I think the person who gets the shortest end of the stick is Jules, I think, out
Mhm,
of everybody in this, which is a shame because I think it seems like this show, the 2 leads, even though it is an ensemble, would kind of ruin Jules, it seemed like.
mhm,
I think they were the 2 leads of this. And I think the people that are really elevating the material and really pulling the season up the best they can is Zendaya, is Coleman
mhm,
Domingo. Like you mentioned, Mr. Echo, him. I think that he does a great job there. And he does fantastic. Even the actress who plays Maddie there,
mhm,
Alexa Demi, she does really well. I think she does a fantastic job
mhm,
as well. She looks great too. A lot of her outfits
mhm.
and the way she looks really stunning. She does a really great job there. But I mean, what acting wise, were you impressed with anybody this season?
Um, Acting wise, I think I said it when I broke down the premiere episode. Zendaya is attached to this as a producer. So she is going, and she is one of the, I think, most talented people working in Hollywood. Is like every performance that we see from her, you could call it one of her best. Alexa Demi, I've really liked her performance in her appearance in this show. And I don't know what it is about Sam Levinson's writing, but it seems to be the only time Sydney Sweeney decides to lock in as an actress because I feel like she's a performer that kind of coasts on her looks and her complete lack of personality, and that shows in most of the performances that she gives in all of her other projects. But here she has range.
Mm, yeah. Um, so we talked about, Jules. I think it really isn't much for her to do.
Mhm,
Um, and you mentioned Lexi. So Lexi in this, who's Maud Apatow,
mhm.
her whole role is just to go, guys,
Sh her whole
stop.
her whole role is to be the judgmental asshole, and I also think that's because her dad is Judd Apatow, who still somehow has a little juice in Hollywood, so Sam Levinson can't humiliate her like he can with the rest of the cast.
Yeah, and, so at least she don't get into, like, I guess, yeah, like, she doesn't do that. She didn't get into any type of sex work with that. But that's kinda her whole thing, is like you said, just people judging people, coming to her, like, and I mean, to be fair, I mean, yeah, she is right. I mean, they doing
She
some crazy shit. I mean,
it's like the message is fine, but the messenger sucks.
it's like the messenger sucks, the delivery sucks. It's like, You know what I mean? Like, I even watching the show when she's chastising Rue and what she's doing, it's like, I mean, yeah, she's right, but it's like the way she was so annoying about it, like, damn, I'm gonna go sell drugs. I mean, like,
Yeah,
damn, I mean,
but to be fair, she's trying to work and Rue is just trying to rope her into all of her drama.
yeah, and some dangerous shit kind of going on too. Um, and that kind of leads to so at first she's working for Lori,
Mhm,
and then she meets this guy Alamo there who we mentioned, and then she goes to work for him, who he owns a strip
mhm,
club there,
mhm.
slash, I guess you could also say brothel, I guess,
Yeah,
in a sense.
strip club, brothel,
Drug den.
drug dealing, guns for some reason, and also in freaking plastic surgery racket.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So everything in the mix he's involved in. She goes to work for him. He's got the 2 henchmen, one of whom, like you mentioned, is played by Marshawn Lynch, in it. That was a good presence in the show. I
Mhm,
thought he was really good. And where that kind of leads to, I thought was also interesting. So then it becomes like this whole kind of like back and forth of her bouncing between kind of him and then Lori, and then also she gets caught up with the DEA. So then she becomes like a rat for the DEA, and then she starts informing to them. And that kind of happens. And so she's kind of pulled between all these things and trying to find a way to make it out. Again, this is like a lot going on, and then they
mhm.
somehow have to work in the other characters and bring them also in there and try to figure out, okay,
Yeah,
we can't just
it's like every character's storyline is so separated from each other that, you know, characters don't even like plot lines don't cross over until like the 6th episode where, we finally get some interaction between Maddie and Alamo, which that was an interesting dynamic. I wish we could have spent more time on that. But no, we can't have that. We got to, shoot some embarrassing stuff for Sam Levinson to goon to.
yeah, and what you're gonna yeah, we're gonna get to that. And there's like you mentioned, Maddie. So she ends up because all these things have to intersect somehow.
Mhm,
Like Maddie meets Alamo through Zendaya because they're having like they're sitting at a
mhm,
diner, and then he
mhm.
comes and talks to Rue, and then Zendaya is trying to like drop hints like, "Hey, don't you got somewhere to be?" And then you
Like,
think a character as smart as Maddie would go like, "Oh
mhm.
yeah, I do got somewhere to be." She's like, no, I don't have any. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
but
Like,
characters act out of character just to push plot forward, which is just bad writing.
yeah, and I think a character as smart as Maddie would go
Mhm,
like, "This guy he's bad." Like, I think,
mhm,
it seems like she would be somebody to be able to pick up on that and get a sense of that, and maybe do as smart of a character as she is. But no, she ends up working with him, and then because she goes like OnlyFans, because I think at that point, did she lose her job as an assistant at that point?
yeah, she got fired because because Cassie started, like, using her OnlyFans to, like, get work in Hollywood, or
Yeah,
at
so
least
she
try to, which it's hilarious the because I think 6th episode is, like, the one where Cassie, like, earns an acting job and on the condition that she deletes her OnlyFans, and then the next episode, it's like, "Well, that didn't matter."
Yeah. Yeah, so she ends up, yeah, working with him there and goes like, "Okay, I can manage these girls and give them an
Mhm,
OnlyFans, and we could get rich off of doing this type of
mhm,
content, and we could do this and he can make more money." But then that goes awry real quick, and we're gonna get into that because that leads into the ending there with that. Um, the big controversy with this season was coming into it, it was all the shit that Sam
mhm,
Levinson had Cassie, who's Sydney Sweeney, do, where she starts on OnlyFans and she's doing weird shit where fetish content where she's dressed up as a
mhm.
dog and she's
Dressing up as a dog, dressing up as a baby, and not just dressing up as a baby, but bragging about it to her, like, white suburban friends.
Night and Day Nick. Night and Day Nick right now. Yeah, you can follow good old Nick there, man. Good old Night and Day Nick there. Same name on everything. On Twitch there. But yeah, she's dressing up as a baby, she's dressing up as a dog. Um, and Nate, he's embarrassed and going like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's having the housekeeper take the photos and the videos of her. Which that was, I guess, a little
Oh,
kind of weird. But, that happens, but there's really no kinda consequence there as far as that because Nate, he folds immediately, like, anytime he's like, "No, you're not doing this,
yeah, it's like,
you."
this was a guy who, threatened multiple people with a gun, broke into a dude's house, beat the shit out of him, and then showered and took his clothes like nothing happened, blackmailed him into like confessing to crimes he didn't commit, and is responsible for like most of the bad shit that happened to other characters in the show. Who the I don't know what this character that Jacob Elordi is playing in this season of the show, but it is not the Nate Jacobs I know.
Yeah. Like, he just folds immediately because you see that because he's not doing so well
Uh.
financially, like, they're eating like, they got no lights. They have to eat by candlelight. They're eating on paper plates, plastic, utensils. They can't even afford groceries or anything like that. Nothing. So she's going like, "Well, I need to pay for this wedding, and I gotta buy these $50,000 floral arrangements. So I'm gonna end up doing an OnlyFans in
It's
order to
like
support that."
it's like her line is, I didn't like I don't want a ghetto wedding, which we see it in episode 3. And that shit is the most ghetto shit I have seen in my entire life.
Uh, it is kind of, I mean, I thought that was a good aspect of, like, this thing, like, Cassie as a character, like, this is what she's been building up her whole life
Mhm,
as being, like, this trad wife, suburban wife type thing,
mhm,
and to see, like, this cracked mirror version of that, I thought was interesting.
mhm,
Again, I think with this season being so overstuffed with all these different plot lines, you could have really done something with that, and had that really kinda go on, which I think kinda worked, but yeah, just in this, it kinda works, but, she has the wedding and everything, and he's doing it, but, we see that's where the Armenians come in, where, they want their money, and like I said, I mean, he's been borrowing all this money from all these people for his business, and these Armenians, they come in, and on his wedding night, when he's going home, they catch him and they beat the shit they beat the shit out of him.
They
Uh, they beat the shit out of him, and they take off his shoe and sock, and they cut off his pinky toe.
Yeah,
There
it's like I think I said it when I talked about the episode when it premiered. I don't know if this is supposed to be funny, but it is some of the funniest shit I've seen on this show.
if you
Because
hated
the entire time this is happening, Cassie is just sobbing like a spoiled toddler about the fact that her nose is bleeding on her wedding night.
like, the if you
Didn't
hated
gi didn't give a single solitary fuck about her husband getting the shit beat out of him.
I mean, so if you hated Nate Jacobs, this was the season for you, because
Yeah, but
gets
it's
fucked
not
up.
it's not satisfying at all because it doesn't even feel like Nate Jacobs.
Mm. It doesn't feel like the I mean, but, sometimes that's all a facade, I mean,
Mhm,
he's bigger with people he knows he can bully,
mhm.
and knows he can kinda push
Yeah,
around.
which that could have worked if that was, explicitly said in the writing, but it's pretty much just, nope, this actor, got an Oscar nom, is working with Guillermo del Toro, he thinks he's better than me now, so I'm gonna Flanderize his character.
Yeah, like, he's not very competent anymore, yeah, and, the guy and the muscle for the Armenian guy, there's, like, no dialogue exchange, he just beats the shit out of him, and he's begging, he's like, "No, no, man, please, no." He's like, nothing, no even a word, nothing, he's got already the gardener shears and just cutting off pieces of him, and everything like that, and he's begging, Sydney Sweeney's character for money all the time, so it just kinda flips it again, it could've been interesting, if especially since, this gender dynamic, very much being the man, being trying to be a provider, trying to satisfy her in this kind of lifestyle and kind of failing at that. What'd you think about that there?
Yeah, all of that is just so, like, poorly written and is such a nonsense plot, and is such a nothing burger to, like, an overarching story for the season that it just kind of felt like it was running out the clock on each episode every time it cut to it.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. And that kind of just, yeah, it doesn't really work there. And then where that kind of goes, where she goes to end up in Hollywood there with Maddie, where she's
Mhm,
managing her, and then she tries to help her become bigger and get more famous because Maddie knows how to work the system and help people. She's a master at marketing and a master at social media. And she begins like a relationship with this actor
mhm,
on the show
mhm.
that Lexi's a part of, and they try to basically just use him for clout so she can get a bigger OnlyFans and everything like that. Did you think it worked better when Maddie was with Cassie? Or do you think that dynamic worked a lot better?
The dynamic worked a little bit better, but it completely disregards the entire how their relationship ended in season 2.
Mm. Yeah. Because if people remember in season 2, Cassie and Maddie, they had a fault. I mean, that's the episode where she beat the shit out of Maddie basically just literally just dog walked her and on the stage and everything like that. Um, yeah, like I said, I mean, kind of I guess disregards that a little bit. And did you think that Maddie was jealous of when Cassie married Nate, or you think that was kind of what it was
Uh,
there?
that could have been how it played it, but how it's performed and how it's shown in the show, it's just realized it's almost like Alexa Demi realized that that they're not paying her daily rate for the show.
Mm. 'Cause when the wedding kinda happens, we see that Maddie leaves early for it, and we see where she lives. So she kinda lives in kind of a smaller house there, and
Mhm,
she's got, like, kinda more responsibilities, like, she's taking care of her
mhm,
mother, and this show also flashes to people during COVID and how, like,
mhm,
businesses fell apart, and that's with Ali, with the Coleman Domingo kid, that really impacted him as well. We're
mhm,
gonna get into that. But that so it's kinda interesting that, she kinda goes like, "Maybe this could have been me. I could have been married, this kind of treadable, but people like me can't really experience that given who I am, you know what I mean, and kind of where I come from. So I thought that was a little interesting there with that. And even at the wedding, I mean, he's got his pedophile dad that's there at the wedding,
yeah.
and then the mother still has the audacity to go like, "Well, my son dated a lot of bad people that weren't right for the family." It's like, bro, you're
Looking
fucking
looking right at Maddie as she's delivering that line.
like, it's like, "Bitch, your husband's a fucking pedophile." Like, what are you talking about? Like, Jesus Christ, like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I mean, yeah, looking at Maddie when she's saying it, so I thought, yeah, that was kinda interesting there with that, what we see. And she's just kinda hustling and trying to still kinda make it, I thought, but yeah. And we see kinda where that leads to, with her, where she's kinda business is booming, she's trying to get a career, and I didn't find it believable that Hollywood would reject her for having the OnlyFans. I just didn't really think I was like, "Really? You really not
Mhm,
gonna have her on the show because
mhm.
she has OnlyFans?" Did that seem
I
believable
mean
to you?
I mean, it kind of felt believable in that, even, like, now, especially with how, sex work is portrayed in popular media, there's still this, like, stigma around people who work in that industry.
Mm,
So I can believe it on that front, but it's never every any like critique or criticism it has about it, it's all very surface level, and it just feels like again, it's leading into more stuff for Sam Levinson to goon to, as the
mm.
kids call it.
And then when she comes to Hollywood there and tries to get a role, that dynamic comes back again between her and her sister of, like, her
Mhm,
Lexi kinda being jealous of Cassie and how everybody just takes to her so easily, and
mhm,
everybody remarks how good looking she is and how naturally talented she is. Like, we see an audition she does where she gets the main audition because, she name drops her sister, and she does, like, this, audition where she does Shakespeare, and I was like, I
mhm.
mean, really? I mean, okay, that's gonna
Hey,
get you. I was like, "Okay,
this
sure,
bitch
yeah."
ain't no way this girl ever even knows Shakespeare by heart. Ain't no way.
But I mean, hey, man, you underestimated her, man. That's what people do all the time, man. People underestimated her, but I just was like, oh, I didn't really think that was
No, I've watched the show. I have estimated her just fine.
that. Yeah, again, that could have been interesting. Could have been played out. I think. I mean, what'd you think about that of like Lexi and kind of Cassie there with that dynamic?
It ultimately just doesn't matter because it's a plot that's just completely dropped out of nowhere, especially in like the last 2 episodes.
Mm. Yeah, because it doesn't matter anyway. Because she loses the
Mhm.
job because she like has the OnlyFans, so they go like, nah, that's okay. And then she's talking to Sharon Stone. I think was that Brian Glazer she was talking to, or that was a different guy? No,
I
I
I
don't think that.
I don't think it was Brian Grazer, but as far as I know, that set was in James Gunn's office.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Um, yeah, so she's talking to some guy there and going like, it would be like if you hired a serial killer to be on, like if you played Hannibal Lecter, like a real serial killer. I was like, I
Okay,
don't think that's
that's
comparable, but
not comparable.
I don't think that's the same
But,
thing. But okay, sure.
to be fair, I imagine, because Chloe Cherry is an actress on this in, that joined in season 2, who is also a former adult actress, so I imagine Levinson had similar conversations about around her casting.
Okay, I didn't know she did
Mhm,
okay, she was a adult actress before. Oh, I didn't
mhm.
know that. Yeah. And, so we see that so, yeah, she ends up it really doesn't really matter because yeah, that ends up falling
Yeah,
apart anyway.
it doesn't fucking matter, and it doesn't connect to anything else in the show.
Um, and I don't know, is it because, like, I already knew so the big thing going into the season was that
Mhm.
Rue was gonna die. Like, I already
Uh-huh.
knew that that was spoiled for
Yeah,
me going
if it isn't telegraphed to you by, like, the first 5 minutes of the premiere of this season, I don't know what show you're watching. Excuse me.
um And I don't know if because knowing that going into it, like, it felt like
Mhm,
because there's, like, 3 or 4 times where it felt like fake outs of, "Oh, is this the episode Rue's gonna die? Is this the episode she's gonna" like, so many times she has these near misses and calls where
mhm.
you think, like, it's over, it's done for her, and she's maybe gonna die here. I don't know, it just felt like trying to just bait people into, like, watching it more and more. I mean, did you ever feel like that at all?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, because Levinson knows that there is a time limit on people being interested in the show because, thankfully, people somehow managed to find some bit of media literacy with the show and realize how dog shit it is throughout the whole third season. So he had to resort to just cheap cliffhangers and cheap. Oh, are we gonna kill the biggest star in the show? Oh no, no, no! And now we are.
Mm. And so that kinda leads to the ending there. So what happens is that at the very end of the episode, we see that Rue so she's trying to work out a sting there
Mhm,
between, Lori and Alamo, and then she's part of the DEA, so she's trying to inform the DEA, like, okay, like, they want her to do a big deal between the 2 of them so they can catch both of
mhm.
them and then arrest both of them. But Alamo ends up getting away because he does like a swap with the vehicles there with that. Because Maddie's the one that ends up telling Alamo that
Yeah,
uh
just Maddie, who, got vented to by Lexi, who just offhand says that, yeah, Rue is talking about, like, something about the DEA.
yeah, DEA and Nazis, and she's doing all this other stuff. So then, because Maddie needs help, and the reason why she tells Alamo that is because she needs help because Cassie got also kidnapped by the Armenians, and they tell her that hey, we got Nate, and he's in a box underground,
Mhm.
and he's only got 72 hours, or else he's gonna die. So you better pay up all the money. And by the way, he owes just a little bit of money, like one
Yeah, a
million dollars
million.
just a million, just like a little amount of money, that's it. So if you better pay up now or else he's not gonna make it. So Lexi, no, I'm sorry, Maddie goes to Alamo and then goes like for a favor. And we see how that and they do like a deal and he goes to Armenians there, but he doesn't actually put money in the bag. It's like
He just
some
kills him.
he just kills the dude there. But Maddie ends up indebted to Alamo there, which we're gonna get to in a minute. But with Rue, yeah, so that's how Alamo knows that the DA is coming and he can swap out the vehicles and the emergency vehicles there because he has a whole racket where he under the guise of taking the strippers to go get plastic surgery, he can also put drugs into the
Mhm,
machine there and then on the way to cross the border and everything like that so he can look more legitimate and go like oh no I'm just taking these girls to get BBLs and
mhm,
jobs and all this other stuff um so under the guise of that, so yeah, the DA comes and they don't find any drugs in the car, but they do arrest some most of the neo-Nazi people.
mhm.
Lori ends up offing herself. She's like, I can't go to jail. She ends up throwing a rope and hanging herself there. So bad it looks like she like cut off her head, I
Yeah,
guess. And
it's like that scene in the remake of The Omen.
kinda, yeah, it is kinda
Mhm.
like that a little bit. And then, yeah, so she ends up doing that. The 2 people who get away is Cherry, and then I think his name was Wayne, right?
Yeah,
They end up getting
yeah,
away.
Faye and Wayne, who are kind of like 2 nothing burgers of characters the whole season.
So they end up getting away. And then we see with Alamo, like he's celebrating with Rue and go like, we did a big deal. And then he hands her a bottle of pills there
Mhm,
to her and everything. And then the pills were that we find out later were laced with fentanyl. So
mhm,
then Rue ends up taking the pills there while she's at Ali's house, who's Coleman Domingo's character. And it's kind of like a fake out at first,
mhm,
a little bit but we see that later on, like she OD'd, like she had this kind of dream, and it's like this kind of dream sequence there of like Fizz, of breaking out of jail, and she made a promise to Fez, going like, "Oh, if you ever get out of jail, then I'm gonna be there with you. I'm gonna
Mhm.
break you out. I'm gonna help you get away." Um, and also this thing, obviously, the actor who played Fez, he passed away in
Mhm.
between. That actor's name, it was Angus
Yeah, that
Cloud.
was Angus Cloud.
So he passed away there, but canonically in the show, Fez is still alive. Like he's in
Mhm.
prison and he's
Yeah,
planning a
which Yeah, which leads to some very awkward stuff. Like, I think it's in episode 3 while Rue is driving. She gets a phone call from Fez, but we only see it from her point of view, so it's just a one-sided phone conversation between the two of them,
yeah. So we just
which
see that, and
just which just feels like cheap bait for like nostalgia and meant to like get a cheap rise out of you, which I guess is the only kind of rise that Sam Levinson can get.
so yeah, we see, and he has a plan to escape prison via parkour. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna do parkour and get out of there.
We got to remember, Fez was not the brightest bulb.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of it's like a fake out there, and then she actually OD'd. She
Mhm.
OD'd, and
And that
I
happens like
20,
20 minutes
yeah.
into the hour and 40-minute long finale.
Um, Ali finds her. He finds the pills there, and that's when we see basically like this. We assume, and I'm believing that okay. Once he found Rue, he kind of like snapped. He like
Mhm,
mentally because we see there was like a episode prior where Rue kind of gives her narration into the character Ali, kind of what's been happening since
mhm,
we saw him, and we see like during COVID happened because this show takes place in 2024 is when season 4 takes
mhm,
place because there's like Harris and Trump and all that, like the
yeah,
election is happening. So this is 2024. So in 2020, we see that his support group, he couldn't have that anymore because of COVID, and those all shut down.
mhm,
And a lot of the people he sponsored, they end up ODing or killing themselves.
mhm,
So he wrote this book where he had all these names listed of all the people that he lost in the time, and it's like a long book there, all these names. So I kind of believe that yeah, he kind of snapped when he saw Rue as somebody he was really really close with and had this kind of great relationship with, and somebody that seemed like they were kind of going to turn things around because
mhm.
Rue in this season, the big thing about this is also Christianity, like she's turning
Yeah,
Christian.
it's like
Um,
lip service to Christianity as the theme of the show.
because in the first episode, she runs into this family
Mhm.
there, and this
Yeah, that's like rural kind of Amish family that she like has a connection with, especially their daughter who has the most iPhone face I've ever seen of like an actress of a character who's supposed to be like Amish. Like,
uh,
she's supposed to be Amish, but that bitch got lip fillers in.
yeah, she kind of yesified Amish woman. So you has her, yeah. So she has this family. So ever since she met that family, she's been kind of like that was the most peaceful place I've ever been. And
It's like
then they were
it's like this is the promised land,
like,
and
this is
she's
it,
like
yeah.
stuck on this like idea of like being Moses and reaching the promised land.
And yeah, she keeps talking to people about the Bible and Christianity and all this other stuff. But yeah, and we see that Ali, yeah, like he has all this list of names and everything.
Mhm.
And then so he decides that he, puts on his army service uniform, goes to the strip club, Alamo strip club there. I don't know why exactly he dresses in his army uniform. I don't
It's for like a cheap visual gag because we don't see his face for a little bit, and Wayne is a neo-Nazi, so I think we're supposed to be kind of tricked into thinking it's Wayne for a minute until the camera pans up and it's Ali.
mm. Yeah, so I didn't
And like
really understand.
and like in his apartment, we see like like medals from I'm guessing his time in the army.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I can't remember from season 1 or 2, like, it didn't seem like he really talked much about his army service or
Mhm.
anything like that, or like it was that really important to him or something. So I was like, I don't know why he's in his army service uniform, but okay. So he goes to the club with a sawed-off shotgun, locks the club because he gets in there and then has like a padlock and he locks the door so nobody can get out. Then is asking for the owner, the manager,
Mhm.
Alamo there, who we see is in the back. Because now we see that Maddie, we said before, is indebted to him because he helped her get Nate back and
Mhm.
pay off and fake pay off the mobsters and just end up killing them, the Armenians. So it's implied that Maddie not only has to give him money, but also is indebted to him, and he's making her have sex with him as well.
Mhm.
That's also kind of implied there as well. And that also Cassie, he like, I think, did he convert her apartment or he bought her like a house or something?
No, no, that's like her house. That
Oh,
was the house that she and Nate lived in at the beginning of the season.
okay. That was her house. So he took her house and then also it seems like is gonna convert it into like a OnlyFans
No,
content house
no,
or a brothel.
that's Cassie's idea. That's
Oh, that was
Cassie
her.
and Maddie's plan to do it, to like make it like an influencer house.
Oh, okay. Make it like
Mhm.
okay, that was their idea. Okay, gotcha. So she has to give him money, and then so we see her also there at the strip club. Like she seems like okay, he's about to maybe have sex with her. And then that's when Marshawn Lynch approaches Ali because he's asking for a manager. And then he kills Marshawn Lynch's character. He shoots him there. And basically it turns into like a Tarantino Western Django movie. There is like okay, and then Ali goes like, okay, we'll do a standoff, like like an old Western, and then he gets one of the strippers, Kitty, there. He's like, okay, well if you, she's gonna put the bottle on the
It's like a
bar.
really long and drawn out scene. We don't, and this entire sequence, we're getting multiple long, lingering shots of Kitty's BBL. More screen time than Hunter Schafer got the whole season.
Well, she putting a lot of, hey man, they paid a lot of money for that, man. They wanted to show it off, man. So she puts the bottle on the bar and like, okay, once it rolls to the ground and drops, that's when we're gonna pull out our guns and fire. But of course, Alamo, he's a piece of shit and a liar.
Mm,
So he's like, he pulls his gun early, but there's no bullets in the gun because
mhm,
his bishop took all the bullets out the gun when he gave it to him. So he's firing it, but nothing's coming out. And then that's when Ali blows him away. And then I like how he was like, okay, just for I shot you twice with this, but just in case he goes to
just to
him,
make sure.
just to make sure, just in case there's no ambiguity,
Yeah, just in case it wasn't clear that Sam Levinson is ripping off Tarantino at this moment.
he shoots, yeah, he shoots him again on the ground. So it's like in no ambiguity, and he dies. Um and everything, like he just leaves and that's it there. Why do you think Bishop did take out the bullets of the gun? Why do you think?
It makes no damn sense. Apparently, in like one of the, because I think the screenplay for the season is like leaked online. There was like supposed to be a scene between Bishop and Alamo, and that Bishop's brother was one of the people that excuse me, Ollie sponsored.
Oh, okay.
That was
Gotcha.
like supposed to be like a reason, but they cut it.
Okay. Because what I left to assume was that maybe Bishop got sweet on
Mhm,
Maddie, maybe, and maybe they starting to maybe get closer or something or be friendly. So he was like, "Oh well, maybe this is my chance to get rid of him or something."
mhm.
I guess that's what at least I kind of assumed from the little.
Or it's like Bishop is a character that we're kind of led to believe has always had ulterior motives, if even if there's like no indication of that in any of the episodes he's appeared in.
Yeah, because the character almost is kind of like Lori. We has a very like
Mhm,
monotone, one way of talking, one way of
mhm,
speaking. It was kind of funny. I mean, he kind of adds some comedic relief to it as well. He could be on the spectrum. I mean, I don't know. It could be. It
mhm.
seems like I don't know. Maybe he had a little on the spectrum there, but yeah, I didn't really get exactly all the reason why he did that. But yeah, he ends up doing that. And it's kind of unclear in the end of who knows Rue is dead.
Mhm.
Like like until somebody says something like Lexi and Cassie are talking, and that's the only time
Uh,
I'm like, oh, they know
yeah,
Rue is.
it's like because I think there's supposed to be like a time jump. Oh yeah, it's 3 months later, like from when Ollie goes to his final meeting and like vows to like I'm gonna make the world a better place another way, and that's when we get the rest of the episode.
Mm. Yeah, which is a good monologue from Coleman. I
Mhm.
mean, it's really
Yeah,
good.
it's like it's a great performance from Coleman Domingo. He's another one of our like always great working actors, but it feels so separate from everything else that's gone on in this whole season. It's like
Mm.
if you wanted to have like Coleman Domingo's character have like the big climactic moments of the season, why wasn't he in more episodes?
Yeah. Like it seems like it really wasn't a lot to do with him there. If he was gonna play that big of a part of getting revenge for Rue, it seemed like he should have
Mhm.
been in it more. Yeah, in Jules, we only see like one scene with her where she's painting and she paints Rue.
Doesn't get
Um
doesn't get a line of dialogue in the finale, and also that painting was trash.
You like that painting, man? Let's see if I can
That
pull up
painting
that
was
painting.
ass.
Man, do you just not? I mean, did
It
you think
looks
all
like
her
she's
paintings?
it looks like she's in hell.
Her soul. Damn! Now that you point that out, yeah, it does kind of look like that a little bit.
I mean,
Uh,
I mean, it's speaking more to the flanderizing of her character. So, like earlier in the season, Jules gets like an offer to like make a painting for the show that that Lexi is
Lexi,
working on,
yeah,
and she gets the prompt of like, okay, people in a park, like sunsets,
it's a
families,
picnic.
and what does Jules paint?
This
Lots of dicks.
people with fucking dicks on them, and like it's like, what the fuck is this? And you can see that when they look at that and go like, what the fuck is this? Like we asked for a picnic
I was
and
like,
everything
what
like
the
that.
fuck did you tell her?
And she tells him to like she tells Jules to repaint it, and she
Mhm.
act like she mad, like I can't fucking believe this. They
It's
making
like
me repaint this.
I don't know if I can work with this kinds of restriction. It's like this is network TV. You can't show dicks on the network.
Like she's just dumping a bunch of red paint on it. And I was like it's a
Oh,
simple request,
not just dumping red paint, but also painting a bigger dick on it.
like it's like it was simple. Just draw a fucking picnic. Like how hard is that? Like it's not like listen, you ain't doing your own thing here. I'm just asking you to draw a fucking picnic real quick. Like that's why your ass need to be a sugar baby because you can't follow simple goddamn instructions.
Yeah, it's like every character in this is dumb as fuck.
Like this is like she gets mad and she fucks up the painting because she's upset. Like, oh, they won't let me be.
Wah, wah. I
It's like,
can't draw dicks on a painting on network television.
this is are you fucking crazy? Like, and of course
Oh my God,
it's like what the fuck. But yeah, yeah, she draws that painting a Rue there, and we see that she has, like I said, no line of dialogue. Her ass look like Medusa. That should look like fucking Medusa or something. Like what the fuck? But yeah, like okay, I can kind of see it does look like she's in hell.
it's like we're just it's like the Wikipedia description. She mourns Rue by painting her portrait, but it looks like, nah, I'm gonna make you look chopped as fuck, bitch.
Yeah. Did she was the portrait like the crime scene photo when they found her body or something? Like what that shit looked like they found her body when she was dead, when she OD'd. Like what the
It
fuck?
made her look like the girl from The Ring.
Like my God. But yeah, so that was yeah, so you have that. There's no real emotional moment there with that. It's okay, she paints the painting. Okay. I don't even know if Maddie knows that, but probably she knows that Rue is dead, I guess. Nate ends up dead because in that deal, he ends up getting bit by a rattlesnake.
Mhm.
Because we see that when he's trapped in the coffin in the box there's like he gives him like a pipe in the ground so he
Yeah,
can at least
he gets an air hole.
he gets an air hole, and then this a rattlesnake gets into the air hole, climbs in there with him, and then when they dig up his body, they just see his corpse there,
Mhm,
his bloated corpse because he got bit by the rattlesnake, so he ends up dead.
mhm,
And then you have that, and then they didn't really tell anybody about it. In that the fact that they just go like, "Oh, he just went missing," so they didn't go to the police or anything like that. They just said he went
mhm.
missing or whatever. Um, and then apparently nobody also called the police when Ali killed 2 people. They just kinda, I guess, were able to sweep that under the rug, which makes, I guess, kinda sense because that place got a lot of crime and drugs and all that stuff, so they
Mhm.
probably were like, "Okay, whatever. We don't want police attention." So Ali ends up going to the place that Rue talked about in the first episode that she went to, where it's like
Mhm,
the promised land with these
mhm,
Amish people, and he goes to have dinner with them, and he does a prayer, and that's it, and it closes out. So
mhm,
that's what you got,
and that is Euphoria.
and that's it. This shit was a fucking fever dream. This shit was, I was like, what the fuck?
This shit was this shit made no goddamn sense, but for like brief flashes, was somewhat entertaining. But when you have like maybe 5 minutes of watchable content in a 8 episode season of TV, you can't give this anything but yeah, you can skip this shit.
Wow, skip it, huh? Damn. You think even if people loved, like, I loved 1 and 2 and I wanna see the conclusion, you don't think, like, at
If
least
you loved seasons 1 and 2, this feels like a slap in the face to you.
you yeah, slap in the face, slapping some ass right there. I see that kinda on the screen. Man, yeah, wow, so I skip it from you. Okay.
Nah,
I
fuck it. Burn this shit.
burn it.
I devoted an hour of my time every week for the last like 8 weeks watching this bullshit. Nah, fuck you. Fuck you, Sam Levinson. How you keep getting work is a mystery to me because you are not getting better. You are not becoming a better writer between projects. This is the same kind of trash we saw on The Idol.
Mm, damn. You think it's Idle bad? You think it's that bad? I don't think
Besides,
it's
like,
Idle bad.
it is, if not The Idol bad, because I think the performances in here are competent at least. It's not The Idol bad, but it's damn near close.
Yeah, at least it's got Zendaya and Coleman
Mhm,
Domingo and, Alexa Demi, kinda helping the material. And I even say maybe even some Sydney Sweeney, she's doing
mhm.
a decent job in some of the stuff there. But the fetish shit and all that kinda
Yeah,
comes
like,
into
I never
play.
thought I'd say this, but I got sick and tired of looking at boobs.
It's Sam Levinson, it's just all just it's just so repetitive, just drugs and sex, drugs and sex, drugs, sex, and crime, drugs, sex it's like, it's just so repetitive and so boring, and like, it's a lesser
Oh,
version of all these other better shows that deal with this subject, like
mhm,
Ozark or Breaking Bad, all these other different type of shows. It's like, it's just such a lesser form of that. It's like, I might as well just watch those shows because those shows know how to do it better and
mhm,
actually, deal with it. And besides for the performances I mentioned, it really nothing really stands out. I mean, some of the cinematography I think looks good. It's shot very well.
mhm.
I think the locations they do and all that stuff looks really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
the locations look good, but another thing about this season is that, famously, Labyrinth, who was the composer for the first 2 seasons, like, the week before the show premiered, he said, "Nah, fuck nah, I cannot work with, very toxic people," probably very much alluding to Sam Levinson, so the score is done by Hans Zimmer in the most kind of phoned in score I think I've heard in my entire adult life.
mm, did the shit by voicemail. So I mean, if you were a fan of the first 2 seasons and you liked it, I guess if you just want to see it conclude, then I guess I give it a stream it. I never was really that in love with Euphoria,
Mhm,
whatever. I just was like, hey, I heard a lot about it and, wanted to check it out there. And there's such a big gap between these 2 seasons, between 2 and 3. It's like I mean, you're kind of just better off, I guess if you want to just see the conclusion of it, sure. And it just feels like such a different show than what came before. Um, I give it a low stream it, I guess, kind of just a very low stream it for me, for Euphoria season 3. So that's kinda just my thoughts on that.